was 20 and I just moved to Italy, and I moved to the middle of nowhere.
Where?
Northwestern Tuscany, Italy. Italian, English wasn't even really spoken.
Modena?
No, this is like north of Pisa, in like near. You're trying to like choose a town that maybe you've heard of that's near Lucca. It's middle of nowhere, and I moved there to live with a family that ran just like exactly the kind of restaurant you hope to run into when you're on vacation. The most amazing mom and pop restaurant. The family lived above the restaurant. The restaurant was on the ground floor. Their apartment was above it. I lived with the family in the extra room.
How'd you find these guys? Did you seek them out specifically?
Mario Batali helped me set it up.
Wow. So you're working at Babbo,
and I said,
talk to Mario. You asked him, say, I really want to learn.
I said, I'm from New York. I only know this food. I want to learn the origin of this whole thing.
Wow.
I need to train in Italy. I need to learn this.
Oh, that's
Can
cool.
you help me set up? Wow. He connected me to an author who lived in Rome, who knew this family, and I lived with them for like almost 2 years.
He saw talent in you early, though, Mario?
I think he saw an aptitude for work. I don't know if I had talent back then. I know I had a very high threshold for work.
He saw ambition.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what was that experience like with the mom and pop?
Crazy. Like life-changing. Like there's only one phone number for the whole building. So even if you're upstairs, like watching the soccer match, you have to answer the phone as if it's a reservation, right? It's your day off and you're upstairs and you're like, ristorante la dogana pronto. Like you have to take a reservation. Like it's as mom and pop as it gets. And that was like that totally.
How was your Italian at the time, and how much better did it get?
It was not good at all, but I had a, this is before like technology in your pocket. This is 2000. I had a little book in a little translator in my back pocket, a little thesaurus, and I would learn what I needed for the day. And by the time I was done, I spoke the language.
What did they think of you as like an Italian American?
They thought I was crazy, like a crazy American who works too much, like exactly what you would think a European thinks of an American.
Yeah.
Like, why do you work so hard? Can't you just take the afternoon off? It's not all about the paycheck. You need to they instill like the beauty of the process, and a lot of it was, going to the field to find the thing or visiting the farmer, like exactly what you would think the quintessential food experience would be in Tuscany. I got to live that. A certain mushroom would come in and the chef would be like, hey, go up that road right there. You see those bushes over there? And like, yeah. He's like, there's an herb that grows over there. Pick a bunch of it and bring it over.
Wow.
It goes for this mushroom.
Oh, that's cool.
Like shit like that would happen to me. That's just like, as a kid from Queens, was like as life-changing as it gets. The Italian food that I knew was the Italian food I make today. Like real Italian, greasy Italian American food. That was like, wow, this is where it comes from. This is Vito Corleone.
Oh, that's interesting.
How do you feel about pop-up restaurants with like the curated like night? There's a story to the night. They have like the tables, what's it called? The tables that we all share?
Communal tables.
Communal tables. Like, how do you feel about those? Because I feel like those are becoming way more popular, and then they try to infuse like Nigerian and Italian, like crazy mixes that you wouldn't necessarily see. But do you think it's more of a gimmick, or is it like?
It depends on who's doing it. But like, I think if it's great, right? Like, if you believe it, if you're about it, if you've put the work into it, like, why can't that be your transportive experience? It doesn't have to be mine. Mine's mine. If that's yours, then great. I'm all for it. I want to experience it.
Okay, so you're in Italy. You're learning about the connectivity between, the
land, the people, yeah.
And I'm sure they're teaching you some, what's that saying? Dolce far niente?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, the dolce far niente.
Yeah.
The sweetness of nothing.
The sweetness of nothing.
Yeah.
And you're this ambitious American. Is there any point in time where you're there that you get caught up in their appreciation of life and you're able to kind of relax? Does some of your ambitions subside?
I think I learned a great appreciation for how they live. I think at 20 years old, as someone who wanted to like tackle the world, probably not. I think I was just as bullish coming back to the States after that trip about wanting to be this chef entrepreneur who conquers to New York more than ever. I don't think I didn't really fall. I mean, I loved my like afternoons playing soccer and, like getting 4 hours off between lunch and dinner, but I knew that wasn't my life. I knew that I was coming back to Manhattan to be in the jungle and to conquer it.
I lived in Barcelona while I was in college from 20 to 21. And, but I had a similar experience. And there was this moment where I was like, wow, this is really enjoyable. Like hanging out with my friends, playing basketball together, going out, living on 10 euros a day. 5 euros of the 10 was spent to get into a bar and I got a free drink with the entrance. Like I saw this version of a life for me and it kind of scared me. I was like, well, this is too comfortable. I could enjoy this and I could do this. But there's this other part of me that was compelled to go do something quote unquote great, as if that's not great.
Yep.
That's also great. It is interesting that like, despite learning all those things, you still felt like the pull.
Yeah.
I think that's an American cultural trait that we don't communicate to each other enough. Europeans seem to know it about us. Like but I almost think that like it's expected of us and we're unaware of it. We're an ambitious people, man. Like
laughable at times.
Yeah. Yeah, like to experience that, like cooking at the highest level, let's call that the highest level for, I mean, I imagine you really respected the cuisine, right?
It was
like,
incredible.
So, and it's a different type of it, but you still felt like that eagerness, that urge.
Because for me, it was like, I knew that was just part of my journey to get to this end goal of make it in New York. That was the only goal for me.
Is that the pinnacle for what is the pinnacle for a chef?
As a New York kid, training in Manhattan, my ultimate goal, which I far exceeded, which is incredible, was just like make a name for myself in New York City, which seemed impossible. Mm-hmm. But I was going to give it my best shot. The best chefs in the world, the best restaurants in the world, there's so many of them. There's so much noise. There's so much talent. Can I make a name for myself in this city that I've always called home? So to get that recognition from like the New York Times, from the biggest publications of New York, from your colleagues, from your peers, was I couldn't have thought of anything higher. And now we've expanded far beyond New York. But for me, it's always, that was always the goal.
What has felt better, achieving that for yourself, or giving back to charity and letting Rich have an opportunity to do it?
Love you, Rich.
That's actually, I'm curious about that.
Rich, we love you.
Love you, Rich.
We love you, Rich.
Remind me the name of the restaurant you and Rich worked at, Cafe.
No, with the original one or the one that they built together?
That you all met.
Cafe Balud.
Cafe Balud.
Yeah.
So in the way Cafe Balud curated you, Rich, David, has Carbone curated any new restaurateurs that have gone off and made a name for themselves?
There's a great chef named Luciana who's in Miami. She was originally from Miami. She opened Carbone with us in New York, who's opened a handful of restaurants in Miami, who's been really successful. But by and large, I'm really proud that most of the great talent in the company has risen within the company. Yeah. So the people that run this company, like the top 10 people in this company, have been there since almost the beginning. Wow. They're partners in the company. They have ownership in it, and they've been there forever. So I'm really proud that they haven't had to leave, and we've grown fast enough to where even their ambitions were met within the walls of the company.